Hey y'all, it's Amanda and this is my Texas Zone 8 garden, and today I'm excited about the holidays, and so I wanted to talk to you all about what I have on my Christmas wish list as a gardener. So I typically do this video every year, and in the past I've kind of touched on what I think are the best gardener things, but now I think moving forward I'm just going to talk to you guys about what's on my list as a gardener. Specifically my list, I have a lot of the basics that I absolutely love, but these are some new products and new ideas that I'm kind of interested in trying, so they did make it to my 2024 Christmas wish list. Okay, so all of these are going to be listed in my Amazon storefront. I will just have a separate list that says Christmas wish list 2024 if you want to check on it, if you're interested in adding any of these to your list or purchasing them for yourselves. I in no way have an expectation of getting all of these, maybe one or two for Christmas, which would be lovely, but I'll keep them on my list throughout the year in case I see a sale or I want to add them at any point in time. So let's start from the beginning. I'm going to talk about the number one thing that I want first, and that is a root slayer trowel. And I got the Root Slayer shovel a couple years ago and I love it. And several of y'all suggested I try the trowel. So I do have that listed. I hate digging holes. So I think that something like this Root Slayer trowel would make things easier. I do have a hoary knife, but the Root Slayer trowel would be for more difficult jobs. Maybe the soil is harder. Maybe I'm trying to slice through clay, you know, just kind of really depends. Maybe it's roots that I'm trying to work through, or tree roots or something like that. So I think that it could be really efficient in helping dig holes for specifically larger plants. The smaller ones, like, you know, my little 4-inch plants or annuals that I'm putting in, I think using the hoary knife will be fine. But I think this trowel could be really good. I like the price on it. It's around 20 bucks. All this stuff, like I said, is listed on my Amazon storefront if you want to check it out. I have some things that are a little more expensive and some things that are a little less expensive, so I kind of roll in the whole gamut on this list. Okay, next on my list is reusable and adjustable gentle plant ties. So basically it's a Velcro kind of situation where you just cut off the length that you need and you can wrap it around, and it's a reusable tie. I think it's good for a number of reasons. I use a lot of twine, which is very cost effective, but it only lasts a certain amount of time. And then I tend to just throw it away and leave it everywhere all over the garden, which is fine. And it's a little bit more difficult to work with. Having the adjustable Velcro, being able to take it off, tighten it, loosen it, is really kind of nice. I like that. The twine, once you've tightened it in a knot, and if it's been outside for a while, it's really hard to undo that knot and reuse that twine. I also think having the reusable would be nice. I wonder if I will reuse or if I will do just what I've done in the past and just let it be in the garden somewhere. So that'll have to be something that I do for myself. I have to be really diligent with myself, not just like throwing those ties away or something like that. But I do think that it could go a long way, and it would take a lot of years to save the money, you know, regarding it, because twine is so cheap. However, I think that it would be more sturdy. It's thicker than a piece of twine, so I think it could potentially be less damaging to the stem of a plant, which I think is important to remember as well. But I did have that. I thought that would be interesting and different and something to kind of try within my garden. Okay, so the next thing on my list is specifically for the backyard, and you've probably seen me in videos trying to stretch my hose as far as I can, and it doesn't stretch to all parts of the backyard. So I put a 150-foot expandable garden hose on my list. I do like the expandable hoses quite frequently. I will say I don't think they're necessarily as durable as like a traditional hose, but that's fine for me. The expandable just makes it easier winding it up, which I love. I also really find joy in watching the hose expand and decrease. I think it looks really cool. I think it's really fun. It looks like a snake, which is really cool. I have an expandable hose in the front garden, which is great, and I really, really enjoy it. But definitely think I need something in the backyard to make my life a little bit easier, especially as I continue expanding the back portion of the backyard garden. I currently don't have a hose that makes it all the way back there, so doing the 150 feet should give me more than enough, and it should last me at least 2, 3, 4 years. I don't find that hoses last much longer than that for me in my particular garden. Okay, next on my list is firm grip, large general purpose gloves. These are not gardening gloves. These are really for when I'm hauling pots or spreading mulch or do anything that's really tough on my hands. And I want them to be a little bit thicker than garden gloves because it would be for heavier work. And I really like the ones where they have a Velcro band to help stay in place. Y'all know that I don't use gloves very often, but they are definitely needed, especially for harder projects. And I am going to be doing a lot of work digging, and I find that my hands get ripped up. I get all kinds of blisters on them whenever I'm working with a shovel. And so I think having a really good pair of just kind of general purpose work gloves would be really good. The ones I selected are nice and fitted, and they should do really good. They also have a little bit of padding on the outside knuckles, so I don't have to worry and stress about scratching my knuckles either, which I think will be extremely helpful. I think that you could pull in any kind of like combination of a lot of these suggestions, and you could do 1 or 2 and put them in a basket with some seeds, and that would be a really cute little present. This next one is a more expensive thing, and it is going to be on my Amazon wish list. However, I suggest you not buy it through Amazon. I'm putting it on the Amazon list so that you can see what it is and know what the product is, but you can get it less expensive in store or ordering directly from Ryobi. And it is a Ryobi 40 volt 10-inch chainsaw. So I love Ryobi tools. I love being able to just pop the battery into multiple tools and use it for multiple things. And I use it for gardening all the time. And having the little chainsaw I think would have been super helpful, especially when working with the willow and some of the trees and some other projects I do have planned for next year. So I also think it would be really good for breaking down limbs and branches as I do trimming as well. But yeah, the 40 volt 10-inch chainsaw, it's been something I've wanted for a while. It's the first time I'm actually adding it to my list, but I've had such good results with the hedge trimmer and a couple other different things that I'm feeling really confident about it. And like I said, I'm kind of obsessed with Ryobi tools. I love the idea of the same battery for all the different things, and I've just had a lot of luck, and they tend to be priced really well. But once again, the price on Amazon seems to be way higher than where you can get it other places. So you don't necessarily have to buy from Amazon. You can just use that information and go locate it somewhere else on sale. Okay, next is something I want, not something I need, and it is a tumbler or a water bottle. I have 2 water bottles. This is a Stanley water bottle, which is not something that I would typically spend my money on, but my friend Amy discovered Stanley before it was cool. Like this was around 2020 that she started getting out the Stanleys. She had her names engraved on it and everything, and it's so funny that she's always ahead of those trends. So I love my Stanleys just great, but I saw this tumbler and it says, yes, I really do need those plants. And that just is something I say to myself every day when I'm shopping. Yes, I really do need those seeds. Yes, I really do need those plants. Yes, I really do need to go to the nursery and see what's going on. So I thought that was really funny, silly gift, perfect for a gardener. And of course they have other ones for other, different professions and hobbies and such. But I thought that was really cute and really fun, and I'd love to have that. It would give me a giggle every day. Okay, next on my list is a weed puller garden tool. Specifically, I put the grandpa's weeder, which I've seen a lot on TikTok, and I don't necessarily need it for my lawn per se, because my lawn is in really good shape. I actually have City Turf, which is a company in this area, and they care for my lawn, and I don't deal with a lot of weeds, which is really, really nice. But I do deal with them in the garden, and instead of having to bend over, I like the idea of just being able to go around with a stepping tool that I can pull up weeds with, specifically long taproot weeds. That's really what I think is kind of harder. And a lot of times the taproot gets broken in the ground and then it grows back. So I thought having maybe one of these weed puller garden tools might help. Now, those of you who've had one of these tools, let me know. Does it really help, or would I just be wasting $40? Because I don't want to get it if it's not going to work. Like if just pulling by hand is the way to go, then I'll just keep pulling by hand. But I do love the idea of saving my back from like bending over. So let me know what your thoughts are on the grandpa's weeder, or if you have another weeder you highly suggest. Okay, next on my list is a Woo-Ha tool bag 17-liter garden tool organizer thing. Basically, it's like a tool bag organizer with a handle in the shape of like a bucket. And I had another tool bag that didn't work as well. I'm looking for one that stands up. I don't want it to be soft and falling over all over the place. I want it to stand up. I want to be able to put my tools, my fertilizer in the center, and be able to easily carry it around and be more organized with my tools. Because right now I leave them everywhere. Like they're all over the garden, all over the porches, and the garage, and all the places. So I love the idea of just the fertilizer in the center of the container. All my tools are on the outside and just picking up and taking it with me wherever I need. The tool bag I had in the past was just kind of flimsy and it didn't stand up and the tools would fall. I couldn't do that. So that didn't work. So I'm really thinking that this might work really well for me. The price is pretty good at $15.99. I wanted like a gray or dirt colored, something that it will look fine as it gets dirty. I think would be really good. And it looks like something that I can spray down as it gets dirty if it needs to be cleaned out. So I think that that might be a really good way for me to get away from leaving my tools all over my garden. Okay, next on my list is Best Choice Products Dual Wheel Home Utility Yard Wheelbarrow. So basically it's a miniature wheelbarrow. Now I have a garden cart, which is great. It's 4 wheels and it is harder to maneuver between some of my smaller pathways. And so I'm looking at this miniature wheelbarrow for hauling bags of soil, but it will fit through the smaller pathways. So the idea being that like my bigger utility cart that I have with 4 wheels, like that's what I would load up with all of the soil bags or mulch bags or whatever from the car and bring it back to the garden. And then from there, I would use the little 2-wheelbarrow to move a bag or 2 at a time around the garden to wherever I need it. I think that would be really good. I think it's another way to also just carry flats of flowers around or any kind of tools or necessities. I'm really looking at doing a better job instead of just using my back for everything, my body for everything, being smart about utilizing tools to make my gardening experience a little bit easier because my body can't continue taking a beating, you know. So, and lots of y'all have stepped up to be like, hey, Amanda, stop doing that. So that's really, really good. But I like the wheelbarrow cart. It's a little pricey at about $100. I'll be looking to see if it goes on sale or if there's something else that might work. But it looked like the reviews were really good. It was easy to manage and maneuver throughout smaller spaces, which is definitely something that I need. Okay, and finally on my list is a standing hose reel. I need this for the front garden hose, which is just languishing on the ground right now. And I didn't want to do anything permanent. I used to have a permanent fixture attached to the brick on the side of my house. And that ended up moving to another space. And so I really just want one of the standing hose reels that just kind of punctures into the ground and then you wrap your hose on it. It can kind of just be out of the way. I think that that would be really good. I've really wanted that for like a year or so. A lot of these products I've wanted for quite a while. I don't typically run out to buy a bunch of garden products or garden tools. Because I think you can work with a lot with what you have. So I really do wait until I really feel like I have a need for it. And I've done the studying, I've done the reviews. But having that hose reel, I think would be extremely helpful in cleaning up that area because currently it's literally laying on top of plants and it's hard to get in there to turn on the hose and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of just messy. So getting it up off the ground would actually help the hose last longer, but would also clean up the area. Okay, so that is my list. I'm sure there's lots of cool products that you guys would suggest as well. Really, like I said, it's really focused on things that I feel like I need for my garden for very specific purposes, of course, with the exception of the water bottle one that I just thought was silly and funny. But yeah, so just things that I think that would be helpful. And really my goal, one of my goals for this next year is to be kinder to my body. And so a lot of these would help with being kinder to my body. Specifically my lower back. My lower back hurts a lot. I spend a lot of time with my heating pad. and bending at the knees, sitting down while I work, using the wheelbarrows or other things to help move things around the garden is definitely going to be the way to go as I continue in the future with my gardening experience. But let me know some of your suggestions for some cool gardening products or tools or presents and gifts that you really love to give or receive. Gift cards are always one of the best things for a gardener. Get a gift card to the local nursery for them. They will absolutely love that. There's lots of cool ideas, funny t-shirts, silly things, and I actually have a section of garden silly stuff on my Amazon storefront if you're interested in checking out just things that I like and I think are fun as well. All right, you all, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, hearing what I have on my list. I'm very interested to hear what you have on your list, so drop a comment below letting me know that. As always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Every time you like and comment, it helps grow my channel so much. And if you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, just drop an emoji below letting me know that you made it to the end of the video and that you say hi. And be sure to check me out on my social media posts, including Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, she's a mad gardener or decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.